Hello, 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 dear Vibers. I thought I would come to you slightly sweaty, but this isn't smell-o-vision and a bit of hair falling down, because I wanted to share with you today about being visible, tenacity, and keeping going. Now, it's interesting because some of the things I often hear from my clients are, especially at the start of their visibility journey, they start doing something that's new. Maybe it's video, maybe it's the way they're posting on social media, maybe it's the way they're engaging with their audience. And there comes a point where they feel like, is this working? Or they feel disheartened or discouraged in some way. So the reason that I'm coming to you sweaty and by the side of this very busy and loud road is because, I'm going to take my hair down, is because last night I had to postpone my place for the marathon in October, and I felt really sad about it. But the truth of the matter is, I postponed it because I hadn't practiced enough, I hadn't run enough, and I don't think the London Marathon or any other marathon organiser needs to be dealing with casualties that aren't needed on the way there. But the reason I felt so sad was because it was all my doing. Had I have, maintained the right habits and kept practicing, kept going out there, making different choices to the choices I made, then I, like last year, would be saying by now, let me get these miles into my legs and get off and go. So in a way, I've only got myself to blame, but blame isn't a really great emotion. So what I thought I would do is just share a couple of nuggets with you if you're feeling disheartened in something that you're doing. So recently you would have heard me talk about helping people to fall back in love with their businesses again. And I will say that when the clients dry up, if the money dries up, if you feel like you're doing a lot and it's just not working, then it's likely that you will feel some level of discouraged, disheartened, and just like, why am I doing this? So last night when I wanted to switch my place to 2022, but the way that it works is that you actually have to say, no, I can't make it, I can't run. And I think given how I changed the dates and everything in the first place, they'll email me. So I'm not too worried about that. But basically what they're going to be looking to do is get out of the way for the ambulance there. What they'll be looking to do is to hopefully send me an email and offer me the opportunity to run next year, 2022. But I don't know that for sure. So I sat with the feeling of disappointment that I felt in cancelling it. Kind of licked my wounds for a bit. That was last night, less than 12 hours ago. But I just thought, how can I stop from feeling like this again? What can I do to stop myself from feeling this way again? I thought I can get back and train rather than wait until I've received the email confirming it and wait until I can go out and train again. I thought, why not start today? So that was the first thing. The second thing is know that sometimes this path isn't easy. Sometimes it's difficult. Often it is hard. It feels hard. So as I went out this morning, I felt the extra pounds that I was carrying. I felt the stiffness in my joints. And to start off with, I think for the first minute I kept telling myself this is hard, and then I was like, well, wouldn't it be better to tell myself something else? I wore my headphones, I listened to some rave, I like a bit of dance music to keep me going. I did notice my thoughts were listening to the music and then turning back to, oh my gosh, this feels so hard. Has this section of running finished yet? When can I walk for a bit and then start running again? And it really wasn't helpful. So I'm not of the ilk of saying, don't acknowledge yourself when something feels difficult. I'm not a bury your head in the sand coach. What I will say is acknowledge where you are, acknowledge how you're feeling and why you're feeling that way, and then choose to do something different. So if you're feeling discouraged, that's a statement, that's an affirmation. I am discouraged. There comes a point where we need to look at ourselves and say, well, what would I rather feel than the thing that we're feeling? That allows us to move on, because it allows us to go to the next question of like, well, so what am I going to do about it? So that's what I did. I listened to music. I noticed when I was thinking, gosh, this is hard, I want to stop. Well, I've gone out for a bit. And then I started to think, but how great will it feel when I go home having had that first run onto my belt? I don't need to think about 26 miles just yet, or 26.2 miles. Just thinking about like, how good would it feel when I've done that? So a couple of things just to kind of from my experiences were acknowledge the bad feeling of how you're feeling. Don't kind of stew in it, but do sit with it, because it's often trying to show you or tell you something. So acknowledge that feeling, even if it doesn't feel high vibe and it feels a bit negative. Acknowledge what that feeling is trying to tell you, show you what you can learn from it. And then the second thing is think about, well, so what can I do about it? Third thing, acknowledge the mindset piece. Mindset, I think, is everything. If you can't be bothered to cook dinner, that normally starts from a mindset point of view. If you can't be bothered to go out for a run, that's a mindset point of view. If you can't be bothered to post your video today, that's a mindset piece. If you're feeling fearful about doing something, that's a mindset piece. If you think, oh, I've done this already, that's a mindset piece. Oh, good reminder, I've done this before, I know. All of those things, they're all mindset pieces. So take a look at what's going through your mind, acknowledge what's going through your mind, and look at how you can do things differently. So I hope this helps somebody who's listening to this. If one of you, if you're listening to this and it strikes a chord, then my work here is done. So wishing you a really great rest of the day, and bye for now.